If you've ever deposited a check and then noticed that some of the money isn't available yet, you're not alone. For a lot of people, check holds are one of the most frustrating parts of banking, especially when the money is needed right away. So let's talk about why banks put holds on checks and what's actually happening behind the scenes. This explanation is for general educational purposes only and does not provide financial advice. When you deposit a check, the money doesn't move instantly. Even though the deposit shows up in your account, the bank still has to make sure the check clears. That means verifying that the check is valid, that the account it's drawn from has enough funds, and that it isn't going to be returned later. Until that process finishes, the bank may limit how much of that deposit you can use. That's what a check hold is. From the bank's perspective, it's mostly about risk. If a check ends up bouncing or being returned for any reason after the money has already been spent, someone has to cover that loss. Holds help reduce that risk while the check is still being processed. How long a hold lasts can depend on a few different things. The amount of the check matters, as well as how it was deposited. A check deposited in person may be treated differently than one deposited through a mobile app. The type of check also matters. Checks from government agencies or payroll checks are often handled differently than personal checks from an unfamiliar source. Timing plays a role too. Deposits made later in the day, on weekends, or on holidays may take longer to process, which can affect when funds are made available. Banks also have cut-off times that determine when a deposit is considered received for that business day. Because every bank has its own policies, it can help to understand how your specific bank handles check holds. Some useful questions to ask include how long holds usually last, whether a portion of the funds is made available early, and what factors might cause a longer hold. That doesn't change how the system works, but it can help set expectations and reduce surprises. From the customer's point of view, a check hold can feel unnecessary or frustrating. From the bank system, the check just hasn't fully cleared yet. Another thing that surprises people is that the funds from a check can sometimes become available in stages. A portion of the deposit may be available first, while the rest stays on hold until the check fully clears. That's why someone might see part of the money they deposited available right away, but not the full amount. This can feel inconsistent if you're not expecting it, but it's usually based on the bank's policies, the amount of the check, and how the deposit is being verified. Seeing the deposit in your account doesn't always mean the clearing process is finished. It just means the bank has received the check and is still working through it. Once that process is complete, the hold is released and the funds become available. If you've ever wondered why your bank put a hold on your check, now you know what's going on behind the scenes. Subscribe for more clear, simple explanations of how banking actually works.